We're back from halftime. All things covered. Patrick Peterson, Bryant McFadden. And man, we told y'all, man, listen, man. We told y'all in the beginning of the show, we had a heavy hitter. God dang it. Pat, what I said, we got a for real goat.
Yeah.
Join
Not no sheep, man.
We ain't got no bad. We got a legit goat. And it's only right, man, we got to give the legends their flowers while they are still here. And for some reason, I feel like this is a guy who doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah.
Just from the durability, just from the consistency, just from being a straight dog. And he's joining us here on our show. Consensus. Man, this man been getting accolades fresh out the womb before he can legit crawl. When he was laying on his back, somebody gave him a trophy because he earned it. This how gangster he's been his entire life. Consensus All-American at the University of Georgia. Matter of fact, I took a trip to Georgia basically because of Champ Bailey.
Same here, man.
Oh, you took a trip to Georgia too?
Yes, sir.
I didn't know that. Dang it. Look at that, Pat. Yeah, I went to Georgia just because of Champ. Just because of Champ. You need to be recruited, Champ, because, heck, I ain't even know you, but I went to Georgia because I remember you playing corner, playing wide receiver. I played corner, played wide receiver in high school. I'm like, man, I want to be like that guy. So I came to Georgia. They didn't sign me because they didn't have you. If you would have talked to me, Champ, I might have signed with Georgia if you would have talked to me, but you ain't talked to me. But consensus All-America at UGA, number 7 pick in the 1999 NFL draft, 12-time Pro Bowler, the most ever for a corner. We might not see that ever happen again, bro. That's how rare and unique that achievement is. 2000 All-Decade team. In 2019, he got the ultimate call to the Hall of Fame. Football heaven brought him up. He has that gold jacket on, Pro Football Hall of Famer. Man, the GOAT joining us in the secondary. Cornerback Champ Bailey, man. Champ, thank you for joining us. How you feeling?
I feel great, guys. How y'all doing?
Man, we blessed, man.
Good. I got my popcorn, man. We about to talk to you. You gonna coach us up. I'm retired. Pat P still playing. We just talked about Pat P. Pat P might want to get 16. Yeah. We got a lot of people who are watching and listening to us. They love being educated. So I know we not paying you to join us, but you gonna earn your just due because we're gonna get it about you today. But before we get started, let's go back to where it all started for you. Growing up in the South, how did you fall in love with football?
First off, guys, thanks for having me, man. It's an honor to be on here with you guys, because to hear you guys praise the guys before you, I mean, I did the same, and it all trickles down, man. And I know we love to keep that consistent. So thanks for that. Right. But, man, where I grew up, bro, there was dirt roads, couple stoplights, and lack of opportunity. And boy, it's still like that. So it was hard. And, one thing about back then, we didn't have a lot of information. Like there was no internet. There was none of that. There was no social media. You connected with who you saw, who was in front of you. And that's what mattered. And we just didn't see a lot of success stories. So it was easy to go down the wrong path. But fortunate enough for me, I grew up in a community where, when somebody had a chance or, you would have those looking out for you. And enough people looked out for me.
Right. So you're from Georgia, right, Champ?
Right.
So as a kid growing up, I know you alluded to, not having many opportunities. Did you see yourself being a Georgia Bulldog growing up?
Not until my brother went to Georgia. My brother My brother was a senior. I was a freshman in high school. So seeing him go, gave me some confidence. But there was a guy before him, a guy named Henry McMillan, a little older than my brother. He went to Florida. So, you see it, but it's not a lot. There's one guy here. A couple years later, here's my brother and a couple more guys going to some smaller schools. So it wasn't a lot of great examples, but my brother was in my household, big influence on me. So whatever he did, I tried to emulate and so forth. And he got there and I just turned out to be better than he was. That's all.
What position did your brother play?
He played corner. Corner. So when I got there, my freshman year, I started my last 2 games. He was starting. he started. That was his junior year, so he started his whole junior year. We started the last 2 games of that season together.
Oh, that's
then
dope.
my sophomore year, we started the whole time together. So the whole season. I was blessed to have him. He left, and then the next year, my younger brother came. So I always had my brother with me.
Okay.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, and your younger brother, that's Boss, right?
Right.
Yeah, play linebacker.
You got it. You got it.
Okay. Yeah, no doubt. So, Champ, what was the feeling knowing you were able to impact a generation of football players, right? Because you played both sides of the football field. You don't usually see that, especially from prominent secondary players, but you played, wide receiver. I mean, final year at Georgia, on the defensive side, you had 3 interceptions, 7 PBUs. Offensively, you had 744 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns, over 300 return yards. You averaged over 100 yards all-purpose per game, while also winning a Nagurski Award for the nation's top defensive player. At what point in time did you realize that, I'm kind of like impacting a generational vibe for football players, especially guys in the secondary, because you were able to play offense and you did it well?
I never thought about that. I really didn't. In the moment, I was just being a kid. I wanted to play. I just wanted to play. If the ball was out there, I wanted to be out there. So that was just in me. I mean, I grew up from 8 years old all the way through high school, never leaving the field. Like, what does the bench feel like? I never knew. That never existed to me. I played special teams, offense, defense. So when Coach Donnan, who was my first coach, my only coach at Georgia, he came to Georgia same year I came. So he had a lot of noise he had to make. So he promised me everything. Let me play everything. He let me play. So fortunate enough for me, I got that opportunity, which, few and far between for most guys. You don't see guys get that opportunity. I just made the most of it. Now, we can't forget a guy a year before me, Charles Woodson. Like, to me, he's the standard. Heisman Trophy, national championship. I didn't do any of those things, but I'm always chasing guys like that. And that was really the bar for me. Like, he did it, I could do it better. Yeah. Of course, I mean, he's a GOAT as well. That guy, I mean, one of the best ever. I still look up to him.
And I was going to ask you that. Why didn't you think you got more love in the Heisman voting in '98? Because, I mean, you had the numbers, and I think Ricky Williams won it that year.
But you finished 7th. Like, that was BS. You finished 7th.
Exactly.
Yeah. You remember the guys who finished in front of you?
No, I remember Ricky because he won it.
You got Tim Cowles, Jonathan McNabb,
Michael Bishop.
Michael Bishop.
K-State.
Yep.
That was some BS.
Okay.
You feel some type of way knowing who finished in front of you, right? Like you said, Ricky. Hey, Ricky was Ricky. Like, okay, Ricky was a goon.
Some type of way. Maybe back then, but looking back, it's all gravy. It's something to talk about. But those guys were big time players at that point
in college. Yeah,
right. So they were big time, and we know Ricky. Like you say, Ricky's Ricky. But I don't think people appreciate it much when you don't win enough. Like,
you're right.
Like,
you're right.
Team success always generates, more love, and that's why Woodson got it. He was great, but we would have never known if Michigan was 1-10 that year. You never know.
Yeah, yeah. And I think your final year, you guys were what, 9-3, 8-3, 9-3.
My final year
in '98.
You might be giving us some wins, maybe. We might have won 9 games. I don't know.
I
remember that.
And back during those days in the SEC in the East, Florida or Tennessee ran the East.
Yeah, Tennessee for
Tennessee ran the East.
Yeah.
It was no different. Tennessee won a national championship my last year. So.
98, yep. Okay. 98 against Florida State in the Fiesta Bowl.
Yep.
You got it. Got it.
So after Athens, you get drafted to Washington, number 7 overall in 1999. Now, your first year during your rookie campaign, you go to Washington. They got Darrell Green, who's a legend, already there.
Yeah.
And then your second year, the first GOAT ever.
He said the first
born GOAT ever. Deion Sanders joins the team. Did you realize at that time you got Darrell Green, you got prime time, how lucky you were to be a part of that secondary to learn from some of the greatest to ever do it? And what did you actually learn from those guys?
Man, let me tell you. So my first reaction, I had a lot of different mixed emotions, right? Yeah, I got both these Hall of Famers in the locker room with me, yada, yada, whatever, all gravy. But you got to think, too, I'm a competitive guy. Right. So I'm asking my coach, am I starting? Am I starting this year? Like, what's going on? Like, oh, yeah, you starting. There's no doubt about that. They'll be competing for that other side. Like, I'm like, really? Those two GOATs? They're competing. Okay, I'll take it. But they motivated the hell out of me because I couldn't make mistakes, and they didn't allow me to. Like, I soaked up all that information. I mean, there were things I took from that year all the way through my last year. I mean, it was priceless, the information I got from them. I'm telling you, I give them at least half the credit for me.
Okay. You're talking about information. Our fans, our listeners, our viewers, they love getting information. Give us one piece of information you learned. It could be something on the field, recognizing lineup splits from wide receivers. It could be something film study, but give us one piece of information that you still remember to this day from Darrell Green or Primetime.
Okay, so one thing, let me think. So playing in high school, I never played corner. So when I got to college, I'm a corner now, right? So I'm trying to learn from guys who've never been on that island in their life. So people that have no idea what it takes. So I learned a lot of things that I shouldn't have been taught, right? Great coaches, but they really didn't understand how to be a corner. Like being a corner is so unique.
Right.
So when I got to the Redskins, and we can go back to Darrell Green on this, Darrell Green was like, your hands are great, man, but your feet are better. Like, that's for everybody. Like, your hands are great, your feet are better. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, he's like, man, you're sitting here trying to punch everybody, but your feet are stuck in sand. So you got to move your feet. If you don't move your feet, it doesn't matter what you do with your hands because of Brandon Marshall, Larry Fitzgerald. These guys will knock your hands down and keep it moving. So you got to be body. It's all about your body. Hands are just a bonus. Bam. So, I mean, that's one thing I still teach guys that I come across. Like, man, you sitting here punching guys, but you're not really affecting them because they still getting by you. So it's like, man, stay in front. How you stay in front? Body movement. How you move your body? Your feet. Hands are great, feet are better. Stuck with me to the end, man. And I still teach it.
Yeah,
that's dope.
And I gotta ask you about this, champ, because like Max said, growing up watching great corners like yourself and Charles, I think it was anywhere between 05 and 06 when you changed your off stance position to that wider stance. What caused that? Like, what made you change it? Because initially used to be a normal back pedal guy.
Yeah.
But then you drop back around like 9 to 8 yards.
Got wide. I thought he did it because it looked good. It looked pretty good out there. The swag was on point when that offstand.
Hey man, when they threw them slants in them hitches, he was out of that thing like hot cold, man. So what caused that, man? I didn't know.
You got to think. Okay, so you said between my 05, 06, I'm probably in the prime. I'm in the prime of my career.
You were hell. You were hell.
I was in the prime of my career, right? So the worst thing that offenses could allow me to do was to see the ball. Like if I see the ball, it's a wrap. If I read routes, it's a wrap. So I was able to play man coverage by watching the quarterback. First of all, they never.
That's where you get them picks.
They never really wanted to try me, but I'm reading the quarterback, reading steps, reading drops. But I'm gonna tell you why I started doing it. I started doing that because I hurt my hamstring. So when you battle people at the line of scrimmage, I mean, any of you guys know if you ever hurt your hamstring, it hurts to tackle, it hurts to bump and run. Any kind of engagement with a guy, it hurts.
Right.
It puts a lot of strain on your legs. So I tried to avoid it. So Bob Slork was my coach at the time, and he just started teaching us how to read quarterback drops. And I just was natural at it. It just became natural. I mean, there was some weaknesses to it, but again, nobody really tried me a lot or studied enough to really find out what those weaknesses were. And they didn't understand what I was doing. I'm looking at the quarterback.
I'll tell you what, Charles, I just been at high school practice. Wide. I'm like, what the hell you out there doing? Chad Bailey?
Well, when you're in the pros, man, you know you got top-notch information, feedback,
right? Exactly.
You know, so I'm able to gauge how to do that. In high school,
right?
Man, you out there just being the best athlete. You know,
exactly.
In the league,
with no proper coaching,
room for error. There's no room for error in the league, and it worked for me, bro.
No doubt about it.
But when people, that's one coaching element a lot of coaches fail to drill into corners. Getting that 3-step read from your quarterback, even the 4-step read, because even if he's in his 4th step and his shoulders are turning, you can eliminate all deep routes.
Yeah.
You're going to get something in the 12 to 15 range.
And it takes time, though.
You got to drill it. Another corner who was great at that with his eyes, Asante Samuel.
Yeah. So imagine a coach trying to teach how to do what I did and to do what Asante did.
Right.
Like it's hard because now you're teaching guys that are going to take a long time to get it. So you just end up reverting back to what you know. So it's a time thing, and plus you got to be a good athlete. You got to have good instincts. Got to have some regrets, some balls and everything, man. It takes a lot to do that.
Yeah. Well, you were great at it. I didn't know you had a hamstring issue. You were trying to hide yourself a little bit, but boy, you were hell. You were getting them books left and right.
Well, look, man, if I was healthy, I'm getting up in anybody's face.
Yeah.
So
is it safe? Champ, so is it safe to say that injury was kind of a blessing in disguise for your career? Because then, like you said, you were healthy. You were trying to put your hands on them. You were trying to put your hands on them.
No, man, when you're dealt an adverse situation, it's all about how you adjust. And I just made the right adjustment. And I dealt with the issue I had. It carried over to later in my career, but then I reverted back to what I knew, because I was still feeling like I was a dog out there. So I'm getting in your face. So I understand the intimidation factor there. So it was easy for me to go back to my old ways.
No question. And Champ, I got to ask this question too, because I remember watching this interview that you did with Tyron. Maybe it was like 2 years ago. I can't remember when it was. Yeah. And you guys did like a film session.
Right before they won.
I remember hearing this stat, and I want to bring this up because me and Bryant and our producer's been arguing about this. Wasn't in the year that you only gave up like 21 catches or something, like 21 receptions?
21 receptions?
It was something crazy on it that y'all was talking about. It was something about how many catches that you gave up that year.
So actually, it was 35 balls, period. Like
that's what it was.
Whole year. It was 35 balls. I think I gave up like 4 completions.
What?
And I told you, Matt. I told
ridiculous.
You.
What? And it was
what?
Yeah, and I had like, I think it was 8. It was either the 8-pick year or
I'm telling you, Mac, it was crazy when I heard that. I said, what?
You saw 35 passes and you gave up 4 in 16 games?
Yeah, and had about 8 at least 8 picks. I can't remember if it was that year or the year.
Oh, that's the year. Was that the year you had 10?
It could have been that year. It might have been
or 8.
I can't remember. It's one or the other.
Oh man, you were playing on all Madden level. Everybody else was playing on rookie.
Hey, Mac, I told you, man. I said I might be too high on the number.
Man, listen, you don't know how we might not see that ever again from some of the greats.
Definitely not seeing that.
Not today.
Hell no.
35 receptions. You only gave up 4 passes.
4 passes.
Man, how high was your confidence?
I don't know, man. You know, one of my teammates, John Lynch. Congrats to him. He just went in the hall. So
yeah,
he was just, I don't know. Like even he was in awe of it, and I was in awe because he was in awe. I'm like, man, you played with Derrick Brooks, Warren Sapp, like what you think? Rondé Barber. You looking at me like I'm somebody. Like, I mean, so that's really what let me know. Like, damn, I'm doing something special. This was in the moment, like in games. I remember we went to Arizona and I had like. I think I got 2 balls that day and I had 2 picks. It was something. and that one stood out to me because I stole one of his picks. I jumped right in front of him and took one. So, I mean, we had some good times, man. And that was definitely one of the better years for a corner.
No doubt. Ever.
Listen. We had Mel Blunt on. What was that stat Mel told us? He had like 12 interceptions and I think he he had a crazy stat too.
Yeah, Mel had a crazy. I think Mel said. I think it was kind of a little bit lower than Champs. I think he said it was like maybe 20, like 20 balls thrown his way the whole year, and he had 12 picks.
Yeah, like crazy number.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
That's that, man. Man, we
dogging
got
everybody.
Mel's another GOAT. He ain't no bad.
He ain't no bad.
Man,
they made rules for that man.
And that's a 14-game schedule. I think he played in 14 ball games. God dang, champ. Yeah, we got to make sure we get let that out, man. 35 receptions.
Yeah.
And only how you give up 4 passes in 16 games, though? Like,
man said I don't even remember the passes either. I remember those picks, though.
Man, champ, people been sleeping, man. Wake these folks up, man.
Man, I let y'all wake them up for me. You know,
man, yeah. Hey, champ, I got my brim on. I take my brim off. I tip it to you right now. Pat, tip your brim to the GOAT.
I'm gonna do the golfers thing.
Yeah, you golf it. You think little baby tiger. You can do golf. But man, we gonna wake these folks up, man. Because boy, that's an amazing stat right there. Yeah, so let's transition back to your DC days, right? Talked about your rookie year, played real good football, and then one of the biggest trades, I think, I don't want to say in NFL history, but clearly during that time happened, with the Broncos and Washington. Mm-hmm. They send Washington Clinton Portis. They send Champ Bailey to Denver. Describe that experience for you. At one point in time, did you know what, I'm probably going to get traded? And how did you handle that?
Oh, man, there's a lot to unpack here. Okay, so our owner, who y'all are very aware of, Daniel Snyder at the time, like people got to go back. Okay, so my rookie year, when I got drafted, Charlie Casserly drafted me. But that summer in 99, my rookie year before the season started, Dan Snyder bought the team. So I was not one of his draft picks. The draft is all this big sexy event, yada, yada, play up who you get. I was never one of his guys. And we all know how that resonates with, front office, like being one of their guys, right? So fast forward 4 years later, I'm approaching free agency, or actually before free agency, they offered me a few deals. Like, nah, I know I'm worth more. I show them what I want. Oh, they laugh at me, yada, yada. Like, no, we're not talking during the season. All right. Season's up. I'm about to be a free agent. They franchise me. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just sit out this year. I just won't show up. So
you were planning on sitting out? Yeah,
absolutely. I was not going to play.
I didn't know that.
For cheap. Like, it just wasn't happening. No security, no. The game was still pretty rough back then. So, So after that, we start talking about trade, and there was 2 teams on the table. I think, no, 3. There was another team, I can't remember, but it was the Jets. They made a serious offer, and the Broncos, they made a serious offer. Mm-hmm. But I looked at both programs. I'm like, who's in the playoffs, who's not? Broncos history of being in the playoffs, championships, great organization, first-class owner, yada, yada. So they sold me on that. I had never imagined that they would trade Clinton Portis. But here's where it got funny is people forget I got traded for Clinton Portis. I was along with a second-round pick. Like, the Broncos also got a second-round pick. Who they
you're right. I forgot about that. Most people think we was just player for player.
Yeah, so a second-round pick, we all know how valuable that is, right?
Right.
Man, you can't just give up a second round. But they got me.
And a second round.
But they wanted the high-profile running back, the flamboyant Clinton Portis. They wanted that. He loved that. Right. Like, LeVar Arrington was drafted after me, the year after me. He got an extension before me, before I even left the Redskins at the time. And I'm like, man, well, they showing me every reason why I need to be out of here. They don't value me. I've been to 4 straight Pro Bowls. Like, what else can I do in 5 years? I don't know. Right. So it was a blessing in disguise. And, it's probably the biggest move of my career.
Right. And obviously, we know you got a ton of accolades off the field. But here's a fun fact. If you type in tackling corner, Champ Bailey is the number 1 result. How did that come?
You're lying to me, right?
I swear to God.
Type Champ.
Type in tackling corner.
You're dead serious.
Champ Bailey. Is the number 1 result. How's that something that I guess you became known for?
I don't know. It was a pride thing, bro. It was. I just wanted to be
complete corner. Everything. The ultimate complete corner. That's what it means.
You got to think. Darrell Green, not a big tackler. Deion, definitely not a big tackler, right? So I played with these guys, and And even when I played with them, I was like, I'm gonna show these fools how to tackle.
Okay.
I mean, that's the attitude I always had. Like, I just have to be good at it. And I didn't know any other way, man. Where I grew up, and you had to be good at everything. Like, again, we never left the field. So being great and showing up, being accountable, that's what I'm all about, bro.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Hey, no question. Yeah, but go ahead. When you get done with this interview, go ahead and Google tackling cornerback Champ Bailey, the number one result.
I mean, where's Rondé and Woodson? All these big tacklers.
Yeah, they are some big tacklers too.
Well, Google. This is Google's list.
Yeah, this Google's list.
This ain't all things good. This is their list.
I'll take it, bro.
No doubt.
Now you know I'm gonna be everything gonna be popping up on my screen now. All these ads for tackling.
Yeah,
you know how it is. Said tackling one too many times.
So let's go to your 2005 season in Denver. I think you guys finished this regular season number 2 in the AFC. I think behind the Colts. 13-3 entering the AFC Championship game. You guys were 3.5-point favorites against the Steelers. I was a rookie on that team, by the way. What was your confidence heading into that ball game? Because we beat y'all real bad, 34-17.
Yeah. Well, we got completely outcoached. I don't blame everything on the coaches. You got to execute. But I'm smart enough to know, bro, the schemes wasn't working. Like, we just blatantly got outcoached. They had an answer for everything we did on defense. I don't know if you guys remember back then, but we had this one thing on defense. We would really fake like you're blitzing. Sometimes we would blitz, sometimes we wouldn't. But we have 9 guys at the line of scrimmage.
Oh yeah, all standing up.
Yeah, that's that sticky look. That sticky look.
Yeah.
And when we went, they picked up everybody. And if Ben Roethlisberger got time, that's a problem. So it is what it is, man. You just got coached. I got out coached, and they were attacking our off coverage. It was crazy. I'm like, man, it was a rough day for us, bro. I don't like to live that one.
So, Champ, again, I know you. Obviously, you know you're always on the right side of highlight tapes, but on this one. On this one, you kind of wasn't. Like, what was going through your head? Who was it? It was Ben, the tight end, when you got the pick.
Oh,
Ben True. Hey, Champ ran out of gas.
Yeah, he did.
he ran out of gas. Hey, you know when your head go back, head go back, you ain't got no more gas.
No gas. Your head go back to support your back.
No question.
Right? No so think about it. We had just they drove the ball down all the way to our 5-yard line.
That was like a 10-play drive or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was.
You telling me I got to catch the ball in the end zone and run a dead sprint and make it? Nah.
Right.
So it was set up for me to fail, but one of my boys let me down. I won't call him out. I called him out.
So what's a block? Somebody was supposed to block Ben, if I'm not mistaken.
All they had to do was flinch at him. Just flinch at him. Like,
Just
come on, give him something, man. Like,
Champ, at what point did you realize?
Fortunate enough for me.
Well, at what point did you realize you wasn't gonna make it? Did you see him in the jumbotron?
No, I never saw it.
You never saw it?
I would have probably kicked it a little more and found something or dived or something. I didn't see him. I thought I was good.
Man, they still show that as like the ultimate hustle play every year.
Yeah. Well, the good thing though, Champ, luckily we had an ultimate hustle play last year that might surpass your play with Buda Baker when he got ran down.
Oh,
DK.
Yeah.
I mean, not a playoff game, but that was a great play.
That was a great play.
That was a great play. That I think what's so significant about that play is it was a big moment for us because we beat the Patriots. I think they were undefeated up to that point.
Yeah, they had a real good team.
And then big moment for Ben because he made that play. So, but we won the game. I mean, so nobody really harps on me about the play.
Yeah. And like you say, they scored the very next play. Now, if they don't score, it's a big deal. It's a real big deal.
Big deal because I fumbled. I fumbled too. So
that's what I'm saying. It almost went right in front of the pylon.
No question.
I think that ball went out the back of the end zone, but they saved it. They didn't have a good angle.
I remember watching that game. It was like I was there. I forget who I was watching. We always say, Champ, run.
Everybody wanted us to beat the Patriots that year.
No question.
No doubt. It was a Sunday night game, too. I'll never get it. It was a night game.
That's prime time.
That
Yeah, everybody hated the Patriots. We used to, y'all know why. Y'all know what the Patriots had going on.
We ain't got to talk about it. We know.
Yeah, we ain't got to talk about it. So that's why nobody wanted to see the Patriots win during them days. On a personal level, I mean, you've done so much in your career, but 2006, you were definitely playing on all Madden level. 10 interceptions, didn't allow a touchdown all year, but you finished second in the defensive player of the year voting. Jason Taylor won. Now, Jason Taylor numbers, he had 13 and a half sacks, 9 forced fumbles, and 2 pick sixes. Do you believe you should have won defensive player of the year that year in 06?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hands down.
I did. Let me give you a little
Tell us why. Tell us why.
So that same year, Sean Merriman was up for defensive player of the year. But he got popped for PEDs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody was screaming, if you get popped for PEDs, you shouldn't be able to win no awards. That's where that all started. I don't know now. If you get popped for anything now, you ain't getting no postseason awards. It's just not happening.
Oh, yeah. Not happening.
Right. Yeah. So he got popped. So it was just me and Jason Taylor. He was all in front of the camera saying you shouldn't. I didn't say anything publicly because I'm like, man, I'm not going to kick this guy while he's down. Like, I'm just going to, let it be. Like, best man wins. So be it. Yeah, we all know. Yeah, you take them, then or you get caught. Maybe you shouldn't. I think that's a fair punishment. But I didn't think Jason Taylor, he did more lobbying than I did. I think everybody on my team and around, in our division definitely thought I should have won. But it is what it is, man. That's one I definitely think I should have won. I don't cry about awards. It doesn't make or break me. But 10 picks as a corner, come on.
No didn't allow one touchdown.
We corners on this call. We know better.
Yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I'm trying. We gotta figure out, is that the same year when you only allowed 4 receptions?
Yeah, but
that might be the same year. Yeah, I think so. Because I think it was 10 picks out of 35 passes. So for some reason that sounds right to me.
Yeah, that is
10 picks out of 35 out of 35 passes, and you allow 4 receptions.
Well, you got to catch him, baby.
You got to catch him. Yeah. So, Champ, obviously your great career speaks for itself. What is something that you took from the Hall of Fame dinner, the Hall of Fame luncheon? Obviously, being around great people. Like, how was that experience?
Man, that. It's funny when you ask that because, every time I think about it, there's always a different thing I think about. But there were just so many good conversations, just hearing the older guys talk about, them playing through the days of, Jim Crow and how they would have to pull over and stay at certain hotels. They couldn't stay near campuses. I'm just thinking like, man, we have nothing to complain about. So little things like that, just hearing Charles Haley tell stories, his days with the Cowboys. I mean, God, I'm telling you, man, it's just a book full of stories that, I'll never repeat, but but stuff that, I resonate with. And it's like, man, these guys are just like me. It's good to be in a room like this with guys who went through that same struggle, understand it, and nobody couldn't tell them shit. Like, they the big dogs there. They know it. It's just to be around that, man. I'm part of a family nobody can ever take me out of it.
Yeah.
I'm so appreciative of it.
Football. How long do it take them to do that sculpture though? Is it like an all-day thing?
I think it took about 3 or 4. Well, for me, it took me 8 hours of sitting there. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we went 4 hours, took a little break, and then went another 4 hours. So, yeah. So it's a real thing. They sit there, and by the time you leave, that thing looks like you.
So it's going to be obviously not coated up and stuff, but it's going to be done before you leave.
Well, the wax part, yeah,
the wax part, yeah.
He'll probably make some adjustments here and there, and then they'll send me like the improvements over time. Man,
did you tear up, Champ? Did you tear up?
I think when he finally sent it, you get a little emotional, but because now, hell, this is me. This is my shit. I've seen everybody else's, and looking at Deion and him putting his bandana on here, all these little things, tricks and like, man, I got my own now. So It was satisfying, man.
And do they give you one, or that's the only one that they have?
I have a replica.
They give you one. Yeah. Oh, it's a man, that's amazing.
It's not the 300-pound one or whatever that thing weighs. It's heavy.
Right.
But man, I do have something that I can set up whenever I do events or whatever. Man, so it's a good little thing.
Hell yeah.
Nothing like it, man. Nothing like it.
I bet.
Hey, champ. You see what P2 doing, right?
What you talking about?
He asking questions, right? He trying to, yeah. You see what he doing? You see what he doing, right?
Hey, it's funny because I've run into Darrell Revis. This is years ago. Well, this is right around Hall of Fame, right when I got in. So just these little questions. They worried about EJ. They all like, man, what I gotta do? So it is what it is, man. I'm here.
There's only a selected few because I ain't asking all them questions because I know good and well I ain't going. but
you in the family.
Hey, you gonna be there though, Matt?
I'm gonna be right there. It's like I'm going. It's like I'm getting in the hall too. But Pat P already, he was like, man, shoot, how do you get an extra one? Do I get a replica? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just asking questions,
man.
You're right. You got to study. Yeah. It's like studying the wide receiver. You got to get all the information, gather information.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of perks, bro. A lot of perks.
Yeah.
It just.
Hey, one question I had for you: longevity. Like, man, you played a long time at a high level. At a high level, always on the football field, not missing a snap, and we're just competing. What was the keys to your success when you talk about longevity?
Well, I can't tell you. I wouldn't ever give anybody the blueprint on what I did physically to play for a long time because I think it's unorthodox. Because
what you do? You got to give us a little snippet. Mel Blunt told us he ate rabbits. That's what Mel said. He ate rabbits for his tendons.
Was fair game. So absolutely.
You ate rabbits?
No, I didn't, but I know people that did.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mel said he ate rabbits.
Anyway, I grew up in the country, so use your imagination there. Yeah. But anyway, bro, it's really I wasn't a workout warrior. You ask any of my teammates, I would go touch the weights and walk right out of that thing. I always felt like it was hinder me some way. So I didn't go overboard with it. I was a natural runner, I really didn't start getting hurt. I missed my first game after playing 99 straight games in the league. Like, dang. That's when I missed my first one. So, I mean, Pat, same for you. It took you a while to miss your first game, right? So, I mean, I was just blessed. I mean, I knew how to take care of myself, but I didn't do anything extraordinary. Yeah. I had a different mentality. I obviously prepared, studied. I just played great. That's my thing. Let me just play great, take care of my body as much as I need to. But it was really no perfect science behind it. I was just blessed, man.
Man, that's crazy you say that, champ. That's the same thing that I do. Like, I'm not a weight room guy. I do some bands and do some stuff like that. But running, I run all day.
Yep.
So that's good. That's good that you had that same recipe as well, because I do the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. So that's big right there.
Yep. Keep it simple.
Yep. Keep it simple, baby. Hey, so did you ever have any regrets, after leaving the game, or anything that you wish you could have done better, any relationship that you could have, amended? Was there any regrets leaving the game when you left the game?
No, I think now I'm more satisfied than maybe 7 years ago when I left.
Okay.
But you always wish you could have won the championship. That was my last game losing. So,
right.
You always wish you could have been a better teammate or, found out a way to extend my career or any kind. There's always little things that you wish. But when I reflect now, I'm like, damn, there's a whole new world out here that I'm exposed to in a different way. Like, I got time to really pay attention. So there's other things that interest me now. It's not just football. It doesn't just dominate my brain anymore. No, I never realized how much I was buried in football.
Right.
Although I got a lot out of it, man, I missed a lot too. So I'm just glad to be able to have a sane mind, same body. Everything feels good, functioning. One surgery my whole life. Man, I'm great, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Champ, I don't know if you know, but the number one selling jersey in the National Football League is Tim Tebow, number 85. You should go get you one.
Why are you surprised?
I mean, I'm not surprised. I didn't know if you knew, right?
That was
and you were
only in Jacksonville too, probably.
Yeah, the number one selling jersey. You know what I mean? It's Tim Tebow, and you were a part of Tebow Mania in 2011 when you guys got lucky and beat the Steelers on that crazy. We don't even talk about that, but
call it what you want.
No, yeah, we don't want to talk about that. We're gonna pass that. But how crazy was that experience in 2011? And do you believe he got a fair shot in the National Football League? And granted, the biggest story was Tim signing with the Jacksonville Jaguars, which surprised everybody. But how big was that experience? And do you believe he got a fair shot when he was in the National Football League the first time?
Yeah, I do think he got a fair shot. I think, I think the situation that propelled him to start was because we sucked, right? Like, would he have started if we were 8-1 or whatever, or 5-1? Yeah. I can't remember how far we were in the season, but I mean, he came in and did some great things, but we all knew our defense was playing top 5 level at that time. So we were balling. So we gave him every opportunity to get back in the game. So don't get me wrong, the guys, I mean, he's infectious, great leader. I mean, I love his preparation. But I grew up with a lot of guys like that. And, they just didn't have enough athletic ability to play football. He has a lot of great qualities, but he's just not an NFL quarterback. Hence him playing tight end now, which is probably, I think his ego, I hate to say that because I love the guy. I mean, he's a great guy. But I think something about him wanting to play quarterback so bad disabled him from getting a chance to play tight end, at least at a younger age. Like, you're in your 30s now. You try to go out here and push around some young 20-something-year-olds, like, I mean, maybe. But I don't see how he has a really good shot of making a team. Now, there's a lot that's in his favor. Hometown, your coach.
Head coach. Yep.
Yes. So it's a lot of sticky points there. So, but I think he should have made that move years ago when he kept trying to force himself to be a quarterback.
Yeah. And so Champ, well, with you being away from Denver for, I believe, like 8 years now, do you still keep up with the organization as far as their draft picks and things like that? Because they just picked up Patrick Surtain, the second, who dad played in the pros. And there was some criticism of that pick. What do you think about that selection?
Well, I addressed that in real time. I mean,
I thought it was a great pick.
Yeah, I thought it was a steal, to be honest.
No doubt about it.
This guy, since he showed up at Bama, was a baller. So, and he has the size, he has the pedigree. What else are you looking for? Like, corners are hard to come by.
And you need corners.
You need them because what's going to happen late training camp? Everybody looking for corners.
Yeah.
Right? So,
and don't forget the team you're chasing, Kansas City, got number track runners.
Exactly.
Got a 4x1 relay team, so you better have enough corners. They got Kyle Fuller, Ronald Darby, Surtain. You get Callahan if Callahan can stay healthy.
Yeah.
The secondary for Denver. I mean, that competition at the cornerback. I'm talking for Denver.
Yeah, Denver.
You got Kyle Fuller, Ronald Darby, Surtain, Callahan, and I think what was a kid from Iowa they drafted?
I forget his name.
Is it Michael Ojemudia?
Don't get me saying.
I think it's Ojemudia, if I'm not mistaken. Like, so they got a lot of depth. So I love the move as well. So
yeah, I do too. I mean, I think it's a great move. It gets criticism because it's not a sexy pick, but it's like picking an offensive tackle at that. I mean, like, if they're great, you better get them. They're hard to come by. So
no doubt about it.
I love the pick.
Yeah. Last question for you.
Matter of fact, I do keep up with the Broncos, but keep in mind, there's only one guy on that team that I played with, and that's Von Miller. Everybody else is gone.
Yeah. All new faces.
That's crazy. Yeah, all new faces, bro.
Last question for you. We're going to transition to the superlative part of this show. Speaking of the Denver Broncos, over the last few weeks since the draft, when Aaron Rodgers made it known he does not want to return to Green Bay, the Denver Broncos have been a team that has been in that conversation with Aaron Rodgers. Do you think that would happen? And if so, what would that do for the organization?
I mean, it's a big push for the organization. I think we all know how valuable that position is. And if you don't have a good one, you know you don't have a good one. Like,
Herm Edwards said, if you don't have a quarterback, the football field is 150 yards.
Yes. You'll never get down it. It's just like you be punting all day.
Right.
I'm telling you that you gotta have a quarterback that can move the chains. And he would change it because, for one, we all know, man, Green Bay's a good organization, but so is Denver. You put a good player like that on a team like that, hence Peyton Manning, you're gonna win a championship.
Oh yeah.
You know, you're gonna have, or at least give yourself a chance.
You're gonna have opportunities, for sure.
Yeah, right now we're relying on a great defense, and hopefully the offense is better. You know, that's what they're dealing with right now. Young talent on the offense, especially at the skill position. Got to get the quarterback shored up, man.
Yeah. No doubt. Best thing Herm said, boy, that field is 150 yards.
That's so real. I never heard that one.
I never heard that one either, but boy, I said, boy, you dead on with that, coach. All right, so champ, we're going to transition to the superlative part of our show. Rapid fire questions, honest, unbiased answer. This is an up-tempo offense, so you're not huddling, and they coming out flush set, 4 wide receivers, 1 running back, and they throwing the football. First question for you. Top 5 corners ever. You can choose to include yourself or exclude yourself, but top 5 ever. Top 5.
Any
corners.
order? Any order?
Any order.
Any order.
If you want to, you press. You give no, Pat P. No, don't let him off the hook because he already said he want to get up there and play bump and run. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna start with 5. I'm gonna go. This is rapid fire. So I'm gonna go Darrell Green.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. Well, y'all killing me here. Let me go. Charles Woodson.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a DB, but corner. He baller too.
No question. No question.
Let me go. Rod Woodson.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go to the late great Willie Brown, just because I saw a lot of his tape balling.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course Prime, number 1. Yeah. I'm gonna leave myself out of this.
Okay, that's good. That's
our list is about the same.
Oh, good. So I know I'm good.
Yeah, our list was about the same. I think I had Mel instead of Willie Brown.
No,
and I had your other ones, and I had the fight between Champ and Charles. That's why I didn't give him no order.
Yeah, you ain't getting no order. I had Champ in mind too.
Yeah.
I had Mel. I had Prime. I had Rod Woodson,
and we had Rod. We both had Rod.
And I had Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, so
Pat, you got the next one.
We on it. The biggest receiver rivalry of your career.
Ooh.
Rivalry?
Yeah.
Oh man, I had some. Man, I'm gonna go back to my early days. Amani Toomer with the Giants.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, you see him
Big
twice
body,
a year.
Strong.
Yeah, I used to have to see him twice a year. And the reason I bring him up, obviously a guy you never hear about, but he was just tough, not fast. He just knew how to just create a little bit of room. And Kerry Collins would just sling it in there. I mean, it was a battle, man. It was a slugfest. It was one of those games, man, because you got to think, they had Tiki Barber at running back. Mm-hmm. Tiki Barber was a beast. One of the most underrated runners. I don't know if any one of y'all played against him.
No, I didn't.
Man,
I ain't played against Tiki. I don't think I did.
Tough, bro. Like, underrated. Yeah. So, you think he's a small back, but he's thick.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I got to say Amani Toomer. I'm going to go back to somebody.
That's definitely
a good one. Yo, that's a good one.
Last question for you. Most impressive thing you saw Peyton Manning do while playing in Denver, while he was with you in Denver? Most impressive thing.
The 55 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back. The 55 touchdowns and the 7 touchdowns in the opener.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
who was a tight end who he put on that game?
Thomas.
Julius Thomas. Yeah.
Man,
Julius Thomas.
Julius went crazy that
Got
game.
him paid, too. Jacksonville gave him a nice, handsome ransom.
Yes, sir.
Was that game against Kansas City? That 7 touchdown game? It was against Kansas City?
No, that was Baltimore.
Baltimore. Oh, yeah. Oh, because Baltimore had just won a championship, right?
I think so.
And they were supposed to play at home, but they came to y'all.
That's right.
Yeah.
That sound right. Hold on.
It was a Thursday night.
Yeah, it was the first
the
team.
Orioles had
their
Yep.
At that stadium.
That's right.
It was. Mm-hmm.
Dang, boy.
Wow. 7 touchdowns. You on the sideline like, man.
And they had beat them. They beat them the year before in the playoffs. For Baltimore to win the to go to the
AFC
to the third round. Yeah.
That's right.
In Denver. They beat y'all in Denver.
Yeah.
My man Raheem Moore, man. I don't know what he was thinking, man.
Yeah.
From UCLA.
I'm telling you, man. He just misjudged the ball. You got to think we're in Denver.
Oh, with that altitude too.
Bro, that ball just carried because we all thought it was coming short too by the way we were standing.
Right.
Like I'm on the other side of the field, but I see it.
Right.
And I'm thinking he's okay, but it just kept going. And then you see Jacoby just start running like even faster. I'm like, oh shit. It just I never seen that stadium so quiet in my life.
Oh my God.
It was the quietest I ever seen that stadium.
And it makes it so bad, man. He was throwing some lollipops that whole game too.
He just was throwing it. Them boy were hungry that day because we beat them earlier that year.
Yeah.
In Baltimore, we embarrassed them. It was pretty bad. And they were ready. They were ready.
And speaking of runs, man, Joe Flacco had one. That was one hell of a playoff run that year.
He did.
He was on point. That got him paid
too. Give it to him.
Yep.
Got him paid. Hey, well, champ, man, definitely a pleasure having you on the show. All things covered. Pat Peterson, Bryant McFadden, man. This was a treat.
My pleasure, man.
No doubt about it.
I'm here for y'all. Y'all ever need something, man? I'm here, man.
Man, we appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, champ.
Pat P, take care of them legs, baby.
I will. Trust me. I'm in this new building in Minnesota. They got all these damn stairs everywhere, so I take the elevator.
Hey, man, I don't blame you, bro.
Hey, young boys asked me, man, I said, P, the me's just on the second floor. I said, yeah, I'm old. I'm gonna take it a lift.
Every step counts, bro.
No doubt about it.
All right, take care of yourself, fellas.
All right, appreciate it.
Take care.
Yeah.